Hi and welcome to the Until 9 Million channel. This is episode 2 and we are 533 weeks until 9 million. Well, last week I was introducing myself and introducing my goal, which is trying to get to 9 million euro. Now there's two important types of income that I want to discuss this week. First is the active income and secondly the passive income. Now, active income is what most people will experience in their life. It means that you do work or you do an amount of work and you get paid in return. So usually you do one thing and you get paid once for it in return. It also could be, sell a product. So you sell one product and you get a profit from that one product, and that is basically what you get. You can't sell the same product twice, especially if it's a physical product. But when you have that kind of business, then you're under active income. Now, on the other hand, you got passive income, which is very interesting, I think. It means that you produce something like a video or artwork, and you could sell it not only once, but, multiple times. That means that the price of the product could be lower. But if you sell it multiple times, potentially you got a bigger margin once you have sold enough copies of it. It's a bit like producing a game, for example. It costs X amount of money to produce a game. If you sell at least Y amount of copies, you're break even. If you sell more copies, you're going to make a profit. Although it is a source of income, like active income, it's more variable. You don't know where you're going to get till you actually get the money in. Now, there's drawbacks and advantages to the passive income in comparison to the active income. One of the drawbacks, obviously, is you probably put in a lot of time to create something, and you're probably not very sure if it's going to make a return. So let's say you make a game and you sell 100 copies of it, but it did cost you €1,000 to make the game, for example, in time and equipment. Of course, that's very low for a game, but let's assume €1,000, and you sell €10 a copy, and you sell 10 copies, you got €100. Obviously, you see that you're making a loss here, but you don't know that up front. So you're actually taking a risk making a game and then selling it off, and it doesn't sell very well. On the other hand, if you manage to sell more than 100 copies. So if you sell 100 copies, you're going to get break even. But if you sell more than 100 copies, you're going to get a profit. So if you sell 110 copies, you're going to get 1,100 back. And that means that you get 100 in profit. That is very interesting because potentially you can keep on making a profit. Obviously, there's going to be a cap where you can't sell any more copies of a certain product than possibly human, because there's a limit in how many people there are and how many people are interested in your product. But potentially it could be a big source of income, because if it surpasses your expectations, then it will make a bigger profit. Making movies, making games, writing books are all that kind of possible passive income. So there's drawbacks and there's advantages. So if you do well, the profit's going to be bigger. If you don't do well, there's going to be a loss. If you have an active income and you just do your job, then you're probably going to make the money that you worked for. But you only have a limited amount of time to produce work. So that means that your income will also be limited to what you can gain in a certain amount of time. Usually the active work is a good way of having a base income, because active work is usually quite stable. You get a contract for a company or you work for the government and you get a base income for the time you put in, which is great. Now, if you're really high end in the company chain, then you might actually have a good source of income. Now, most people get just regular incomes, enough to have a nice life or enough to have just enough to get by. But, not many people get rich by having regular active incomes. So the thing where the real money is usually in that passive income, but obviously it has more risk. Now, if you can manage to actually start off with something that doesn't cost too much money to produce, having it out there, like a game. Let's say you can make a game really cheaply and it's really cool, and people have done it in the past, so it's not impossible. then you can actually get a bigger profit than you ever would have with having just a regular job. So I think that having passive income is quite interesting because it could still make money even in a time span of a year or 2 years. There's certain products, or if you made a video, for example, your video might not be popular this year, but maybe next year it could pick up and get another audience and be successful. So basically, I think that passive income is actually the road to go to. So I definitely, in the next months and years, I will try to increase my passive income. For the time being, I got a very small source of passive income. It's not great at all. It just makes me very little money. But it's a start, and hopefully it will get better. That's it for this week. Thanks for listening, and hope to see you next time. Bye.